Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today's the last podcast of 2023. We're going to do a little recap of what the year looked like, and we're also going to talk about what we have in store for 2024. Super excited about that. Before I jump on to the next part, I'm going to cut the intro here. And I just want to tell you guys, I was doing the intro, watching you guys as we're doing the intro, and boy, have we come a long way. So at the beginning, we would go live and everybody would be stiff and we'd be looking at the camera. And now everybody's just like relaxed and kind of looking at their phones and waiting for the intro to be done. And it hit me on the last podcast of 2023, how far we've come. So anyways, want to welcome everybody to the live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We are talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blu-ray XL, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias. Last podcast, 2023. It's been three and a half years, my friend. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. We've been closed all week, and it's been really nice because I've been able to kind of hijack the office. If you went in our conference room right now, like I've taken over the whole table, I've got the whiteboard going, and I've been just getting in here all day and jamming music and cleaning out drawers and shredding papers and consolidating notes and concepting of new ideas. So it's been a really good week for me so far. And I'm looking forward to kicking off 2024. We've got a lot of cool things coming this year that I'm excited about.
Mr. Flawless, what's going on? You're looking nice and refreshed, and like is that right? Vacation or what? What is that?
Look, so today I had an epiphany, and I hit like a turning point where usually when I take any time off or any extended time off, I get really antsy and I start to like, things happen, right? And everybody knows at the house that Dad's on edge, and it's weird, because I'm not working and I'm not doing something. And I feel like if I'm not being productive, I get irritated inside. Something is bothering me. And it's whether or not I'm doing things to be productive or I'm creating an environment where I have my people, like my family and making sure they're being productive and things are just happening and we're moving forward, right? We're making some form of progress in life and not just sitting idle or taking a step back. And I'm just wired that way. And yes, we took the week off, even though we did do a couple calls. And of course, the service call here, emergency here, my cleaner's stuck or whatever, that we get once in a while, or heaters that aren't turning on. But for the most part, all week we have been off, and we had a wonderful Christmas. It was beautiful and a complete success. And as you get older, especially when you have children, things shift, right? And it's the joy and the beauty of the happiness from our children, that it was just awesome. I can sit in the corner, by myself, nobody even looking at me and nobody even knowing I'm there, and just watching them go through Christmas, or the enjoyment on their faces, and more importantly, the whole family there being cohesive and nobody fighting, the boys aren't whatever, and everybody has a huge smile on their face, right? And Janie is like she's already an angel, right? But to see her glow on Christmas because she loves her people, her children being happy, right? And just watching it, to me, is like all the accomplishment in the world, right? As a man and as a father and as a husband. And if there was one thing that I wish I can have forever in life, would be the ability to be able to watch my children, like on Christmas, or, I might get a little emotional here, but, just to see
he's going to cry, Zach. He's going to cry.
Is to me is like a beautiful thing. So aside from Christmas Day, right, that was just wonderful. Every other day was a little bit like I was just a little irritated, and simply because I wasn't working, we weren't getting things done. But today, when we got on the podcast, which was weird, and it's kind of funny, I guess I haven't looked at myself in the mirror, or maybe today was just a change. But anybody watching, if you can see, I look at probably maybe like 10 years younger.
10 years younger, for sure.
I do look 10 years younger.
You do.
I have no bags underneath my eyes. And it's crazy, right? To see the difference, how your body reacts to these types of, I don't know, to just actually relaxing and not running yourself on empty. But I don't know what to chalk it up to. I don't. I guess it's because I've been kind of relaxing that I look this way. I have not been sleeping as well as I always sleep. They say like Chevy, right? Like a rock. And when I'm down, I'm down, and I sleep consistent. And whether it's I go to bed at usually around midnight, and I'm up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning every day, no matter what. And I can operate that way. But I've been kind of going to bed a little bit earlier. I've not been able to stay awake because I'm just like shut down mode. And then I wake up at like midnight, and then I'll wake up like at 1 o'clock, and then I'll wake up at 1:30, and then I finally wake up at like 2 o'clock. And for the last like 3-4 days, I've been waking up at 2 o'clock, 2:15 in the morning, and not being able to go back to bed. Same thing today. And I don't know what it is, but it's a little frustrating, but something's working, because look at this. Look. He's 10 years younger.
He's getting into the old man sleeping pattern where it's like he's got to get up to go to the bathroom like 4 times, and he's sleeping 2-hour blocks.
Look, I wasn't going to say that.
Downhill, John.
I wasn't going to say that. We talked about that pre-podcast. I wasn't going to. I was going to spare our audience of that detail, but yes, for the first time in my life, I'm actually having to get up in the middle of the night to urinate. Right, and I'm like, what?
That's old man syndrome, bro. It's old man syndrome. You're not young anymore. It's all kind of downhill from there.
I guess that's what
Zach,
it is.
do you have that problem? I don't think Zach has that problem. He was saying he sleeps. Zach's like, I sleep for 12 hours straight. Zach, John, by the way, just to let you know, that doesn't happen to me. I go to sleep. I'm out. I wake up at 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you let me, I've been sleeping a lot lately, but
I've been up late this whole week. It's wild. I've been up till like midnight.
You're in your dream. Like this is like you've had a dream week. Like if anybody asked you, what is your perfect week look like? This last week was your perfect week.
It is. And I don't know why that's empowering me to stay up late and still feel rested when I get up in the morning, but
because you're all fired up about it. Yeah. So John, you should see, I call him, hey Zach, what are you doing? And he's like, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And he like goes on, and like 30 minutes later, and he's like, what about you? And I'm like, I haven't done anything.
He calls me and says, I'm just making sure you're okay. I haven't heard anything in a while.
Oh, but yesterday, John, after I took Brianna's car to get fixed, I drove all the way home. And so that's over by the Colony, right? I called him as I pulled out of the parking lot. I'm like, you know what? I haven't heard from Zach. Let me call him. I called him, dude, when I got off the Dallas toll into Prosper, off of the new toll exit, he finished talking. He talked the entire way that I drove from the Colony all the way up, and the handbook and the goals and the this and the that and blah, blah, blah. And I listened to him. Like I didn't even interrupt once, right? There was just the one time that I thought that the call had lost because he stopped talking for like a second.
Right.
He stopped talking when you get to what's that exit right there, that new PGA exit, where they're doing all that. And it's kind of going down like that. He went quiet and he just like stopped talking. And I'm like,
you're looking at your phone.
Yeah. I'm like, hello. He's like, oh, I'm here. And I'm like, I thought I lost you. And then he's like, he just like, and then blah, 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 and he just kind of kept going all the way till I got off at the end.
But I'm killing it, right?
No, I do have to say, I know why you're staying up and why you've been up, because I would be that pumped with that much progress in everything that you're doing and you've gotten accomplished. And, you have to admit, it's hard. It's hard when you're running a business and you got customer calls and you got staff and you got team members and you have people in the office and you have like all that's difficult when you're trying to get certain things done. And I don't know if you're like me, Zach, but like I'll have certain things that I want to accomplish in the day. But if for some reason my morning, I'm not able to get on that path, then my day's kind of a train wreck. It doesn't matter what I accomplish by the end of the day. I feel like the day was a bust.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day I have a plan, and every day it never goes as planned.
Yeah. And for me, luckily, I could work late because I work from home. So I can go upstairs and I could be upstairs until 8, 9 o'clock and kind of accomplish. You can't, right? Like at the end of the day, you got to finish, you got to close, you got to head back home. So your kids are a lot smaller. So it just kind of gets a little bit more difficult. But I can see where you've been in heaven all this week.
Well, look, I didn't mean to turn our good mornings into like a in-depth therapy
you
session
totally
right
did.
Here,
you totally
but I am,
it.
and I'm gonna take this even further here, okay? Because I had a thought, and I'm thinking about this, and it's like, how do you really tie this into life? And if anything, it proves to us how, doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? No matter whether just a repetitive action or I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it's how important it is in our life to change things up a little bit, right? And to keep our minds and our bodies guessing, right? Or adapting to a different environment and see how we become more productive, or we start to see certain things better in our lives, right? And like for you, for instance, Zach, being able to do this. So I would say, like, if I was you, how am I able to create more of this time so that I can have these weeks of productivity? Because you look like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You got a twinkle in your eye for once.
He totally does.
You don't look like the Night Stalker, right? You don't seriously seem like somebody that's on Forensic Files. It creeps us out. You're actually personable and somebody you want to talk to, right? We're friends, good friends, and we know each other. But I'm sure now when you interact with the human world and other beings, they're not going to think, God, this guy's a prick. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with this dude? But now they're actually talking to you, and you friend people, and I'm sure that energy is overflowing, and other people are feeling it, including your wife and your kids and your family. So how do you replicate that, right? And why have you starved yourself from that, in 2023? Where for me, I look at it like myself as, if I look this much better, if I can shave 10 years off of my life by taking some extra time off work, right? And if it's that, beneficial for me, then I need to do more of it, right? Because obviously my body's telling me something that I need to slow down a little bit or switch gears or do something, and I'm benefiting from it. And I know you, Edgar, you go crazy, same way with me not doing anything, right? But once you get back into the swing of things, or once you kind of get back into whatever, you might be that much more productive or create that much more ideas. And I think during this time, we've had a lot of conversations and we've had some great ideas. to help move our plan for 2024 forward, right? Like where we were kind of not stuck, I would say, but we're trying to brainstorm and figure out, things and drawing out our roadmap for the new year. But it seems like the last couple weeks, things have really come together, and we've figured out, and we've said, oh yeah, this is what we're going to do, is how we're going to do it. This is what we need to do. And we've answered some of the questions that were lingering in the past, simply by taking a little bit of time off. So I think we should reflect on this.
Isn't it amazing what 3 days will do?
Right. we need therapy, bro.
No, but it's true. And like all this, this week, I've done nothing. On purpose, I've had a call with the team, and that was it. But on purpose, I just been taking time off because I know I need to. We need to practice what we preach, right? And that is that you need to be off, you need to relax, and you truly do. And there's stuff that I know I need to get done, but right now I'm in that mode of, you know what, I'm on vacation this week. I'm just not doing anything. And all the stuff that I'm doing is the stuff that I normally don't get to do. Brianna's in town from school. Her car had an issue with some rats getting through some wires. So I'm like, let's go take your car together. Let's go figure that out. I had to take Jaden to the doctor. I had to do, and so it's like, I focus on all those things. And then it's like, I'm on vacation. I need to decompress so that when I jump back into the office the next Tuesday, I have a fresh mindset. And like you're saying, John, it just gives you the ability to kind of let your brain rest, and then you kind of come up with better ideas, right? And that's kind of in all the times that I've just kind of been sitting there doing nothing. It's like, okay, let me look at the strategy of what we have going on, and let's talk to John, and let's talk to Zach, and without having to put anything in stone, but kind of preparing us for next week as to what we have going on.
And one last thing, look,
yep.
Just to prove how sick in the head I was and how it drives me crazy. And this will hopefully will sum it all up. While on vacation, usually we dread these calls, right? Or like late night text message or an email. I know you're on vacation, I'm sorry, or whatever. But after like the second, third day of being on it, I actually, when I got it, I looked forward to it and wanted to go, like, okay, let's go. And then we're talking about like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Let's go do this. And I had to physically and mentally tell myself and stop myself from doing it, because in my mind, I'm like, and, I love Janie. She's like, usually, it's like you would expect, like, oh my God, I got a call. Let's go over there. Let's fix this. Let's go, da, 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 da. And she's like, she's like, okay, let's go, instead of being like, oh, do we really have to? We're on vacation. You know what I mean? You need to stay home. You work too much. And I'm saying that because to me, I'm just a different breed, and that kind of stuff irritates me. It doesn't look, whatever I try to do what's best for our family, and I don't want to be away from us, but I do this for us. So having her support me in that, makes it a lot easier for me to do it. Or maybe she's enabling me. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it's something even deeper, and we really need to talk to a therapist. But,
you guys need therapy is what you guys need.
But it's like, I got it, and I'm like, dude, we're out. I mean, one of the nights we're out there at night. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm replacing a comm cable for a heater and a water temp sensor at an Airbnb, because the pool is 105 degrees, right, in the middle of winter. Dude, this JXI went rogue, bro. And obviously that
I had that
dry contact, right, and the wire was bad, and it was turning on, turning off, turning on, staying on. I'm like, oh my God. And I get a message, and when I'm looking at the pool, I'm like, holy crap, this is like a 40,000 gallon pool, and it's 105 degrees, right, in the dead winter. And I'm like, dude, it was like, okay, I think we should go. But anyways, we went over there and we took care of it. But yeah, that's how I felt, And then when I was done with it, I kind of went home and I was like a little irritated with myself because I had a coaching talk with myself, whatever. And I figured, look, I can't do this. And since then I haven't done it. But that's just how sick I am.
Yeah.
You had a rough week.
Yeah.
I did, dude.
Lots of self-coaching and therapy.
Dude,
and
right? All because I'm on vacation, right? My whole world crumbles because I'm not working. That's weird.
That's funny.
Wow. Okay.
That's awesome. But hope we just hope everybody's taking the time, relax, take some vacation time next week. Next Tuesday, it's pedal to the metal, right? Metal to the pedal, whichever way it goes. And because here's the funny thing is you look at it and your next week is January, then you have February, then we're in March. And March we're back. So we really don't have a lot of time before we get into our busy season. You're 60 days away. So it really kind of gets you there. So anyways, I do want to
what's crazy?
Let's see. The pool gods always find a way to punish us for taking vacation.
We're not even done with our good mornings and we're ready for our commercial break.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close. We're 20 minutes in.
I know.
Good Lord. John, you talked for 18 minutes.
The whole world's crumbling, dude. I'm telling you, dude.
Oh, yeah. So is that going to be the last podcast of the year? We're going to finish it with our normal, shebang. Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea, dude. I think my whole world's crumbling. I'm questioning my existence right now. I don't even know what's going on.
You still have 3 more days of vacation, John. Before.
What's going to happen? Right. I'm going to become a monk or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to have a complete life change. Or maybe I'm going through midlife crisis right now. I don't even know.
I'm telling you, I think you are.
I'm going to go buy a Porsche, bro.
You're going in late.
I'm going to get a Porsche. Or is it the Corvette now?
Either
that
one.
was the old day, right? The midlife crisis was going out and buying yourself a Corvette.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do that.
Right. Hey, big shout out over here to Jeanette, Mr. Steve Barnes, Benny, Justin. Big shout out to you out there. Janie, thank you for jumping on. Looks like Benny has a new toy that he's excited about. Todd's Pool Service. What's going on? Good morning out there. He's got a new toy that he's excited about. He bought that new, what is it? The Remora from Hammerhead. So he's gonna go out and work today, even though he's on vacation, just to be able to play with his new toy out there. So that tells you that just tells you, John, how crazy we are in the pool industry, that we're like I gotta go clean a pool to practice with it. Can't wait till Monday.
It's literally a Hammerhead, but with the portable battery, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is completely new, but it's really cool. It is. Yeah.
We use them.
Yeah. You kind of feel like Ghostbusters, don't you? You know what I mean? Like you got like a
put the music on with the little boombox for the Ghostbusters.
Right.
Who are you gonna call? Big shout out here to our boy Kevin, our producer. Really appreciate it, Kevin, for all your support, everything that you helped us out with in 2023. Mr. Matt Mann, good morning, boys. What's going on? Mr. Steve Barnes, it's not work when you love what you do. I have to agree with that 100%. Once you find your calling, once you find what you enjoy, man, you look forward to Mondays. That is for sure. So anyways, gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about, we'll take a break here in a couple minutes, but I want to talk about some of the things. So let's get through our housekeeping notes. Then we'll take a break and then we'll come back. We'll talk about 2023. We'll talk about what we have in store for 2024. And we've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. No pun intended, Aquastar. A lot of stuff in the pipeline coming out. So you know what we need to do, John, Zach, we need to pair it with one of their variable speed pumps. So we're a lot more efficient. So all the stuff that we have coming out of the pipeline is fresh.
Is that a dad joke, bro? Or that's like
it's a pun. It's a pun.
I don't know.
I gotta learn these buttons on here. Let me see.
He's been teaching me.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you get it? There you go.
He's been teaching me dad jokes.
So
every time I'm around him.
even Steve is going, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible, actually. Sorry. I love you, Edgar.
So you were the one that put that in the script for me to say. Why are you?
I've been trying to set you up. I'm setting you up.
You
I didn't
put
think
that
you were
on
gonna.
the script and then you throw me under the bus.
I know. Well, you're like Ron Burgundy, right? Anything you see, you'll say, and I was just testing it out. So you were, jeez.
Just repeating. Anyways, let's get through some housekeeping notes here. We'll take a break and then we'll come back. We'll talk about 2023, 2024. So March 1st and 2nd, we have our first boot camp of the year over at the Heritage Pool Supply in McKinney. We're going to talk about registration for that next week. March 26th, March 26th and 27th at the Western Pool and Spa Show in Long Beach. We'll have another boot camp. May 17th is going to be our first specialized boot camp, a 201 series out at RatePack headquarters in Oxnard, California. Then we are going to have the Women's Summit 2024 in Dallas, which is August 29th and 30th. November, which I had the dates wrong, by the way, everybody. So November 9th, 10th, and 11th is going to be the boot camp. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Is Zach cupcaking right now?
He is. Zach is trying to cupcake. And the only reason I think that he's cupcaking, so it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Right? So he's been bragging how much he's been able to get done this week, right? Look, he's kind of giving me a look of going, Edgar, please shut up.
He's kind of blushing right now, dude. Look at him.
So he's been bragging about how much he's been able to get done while he's on vacation this week. But I'm pretty sure Leslie probably doesn't feel the same way. So, and you know what, Zach, you're my bro and everything, but I'm going to have to back her no matter what. So anyways, so big shout out to Leslie out there. Thanks for jumping on, Leslie. November 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have the Pool Nation Boot Camp, which is the 3-day boot camp out at the PSP Expo. We will be doing business classes, industry classes, hands-on classes. We will be doing the retail boot camp as well. And then we're going to be doing some financial business classes that are coming up soon. We're trying to convince John on the PCTI classes with John. Sorry, I was kind of distracted over here because Leslie's going, LOL, John's face. And then Leslie is saying that no, she was not mad at him that he took 2 days off. So does Saturday and Sunday count, John? No,
I'm Leslie can confirm this. What John described earlier is 100% me. It's like when I'm home and I'm not being productive, I don't know what it is. I get grouchy, I get irritable. And
so she just kicks you out. She's just like, get out of here.
By 2 days, she's like, go.
So anyways, we'll talk about the classes coming up here that we're going to be doing at the boot camp on March 1st and 2nd. We'll talk about a couple of other things. Let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, let's talk about 2023. And more importantly, let's talk about what we have in store for 2024. We'll be right back.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day. Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation live podcast. We continue our conversation with our boys, JJ, which is, there he is, and our boy Zacharias. A big shout out to 79 Steel Matt. Greetings from Canfield, Ohio. Joseph and Rebecca, big shout out to you out there. Thanks for joining us today on the live podcast, the last one of the year, the last one of 2023. So big shout out to you guys out there. And Zach is kind of clarifying that he actually took 3.5 days off. How do you justify that you took 0.5 days off? Does that really work with your wife? Because that doesn't work with my wife. That doesn't work with Leanne. I can't tell Leanne, well, I took half of a day off.
I don't know if it works, but it's a fact.
Nice. So, hey, 79 Steel Matt came here from Rancho Cucamonga, Cali. So what are you doing out in Ohio, Matt? Are there pools out in Ohio? I'm assuming Ohio gets really cold, right? So
are there pools?
No, I mean like year round.
They're all winterized right now. Oh no, they're winterized for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So
they're ice skating on them.
So anyways, let us know and let's continue our conversation. So I have a couple questions for you. We are going to talk about the classes that we're going to do March 1st and 2nd, and we're going to kind of go into detail, but we've been talking for like 30 minutes. And so I think I want to jump and we'll talk about that maybe on the next podcast. Retail pool store. Oh, I freaking love it.
Stay tuned.
I freaking love it,
we
Matt.
Got some good stuff for the retailers in 2024. That's for sure.
Absolutely. For 2024, we're going to be doing a boot camp for retailers, Matt. And actually, we need to connect. I need to hear your story. Would love to connect. So I want to talk a little bit about 2023. I want to talk a little bit about, I think this is the first year that I've kind of taken my foot off the gas and actually given some thought to kind of everything that we've accomplished, right? Because we started and it's been go, go, go with our vision and with everything that we want to do and that 5-year plan, that 8-year plan, that 10-year plan that we're working on. And, we've kind of we've been fortunate to get where we are as quick as we have. Right. And I think I'm excited about that. And I've been able to kind of, as I've taken this week off, been able to kind of sit down, think about the good things, the bad things, the hurdles that we have to overcome, right? Because everybody always thinks, oh, it's golden, right? But there's been a lot of difficult times for us that we've had to overcome. But I think overall it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. So anyways, I want to talk about that a little bit. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Mr. David Jones, Happy New Year's to you out there as well. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about get your thoughts on the last 3 years of
This is where it kind of gets a little awkward for us because we're not really built this way.
Yeah.
And you can tell immediately we had like this whole joyous and we were talking, everybody's doing their laughing, and then
now everybody's quiet.
The editor goes into talking about this and he's like, yeah, and like completely opposite from the morning. The first statement you made was like, look how comfortable everybody is, after 3.5 years, we're like just chilling. We're going through the intro, we're looking at our phones, we're completely relaxed, we're not all stern and posture and looking a little awkward. And then here you go after the commercial,
ruining it,
going into this next subject and coming off completely awkward talking about it, right? And now you're going to pass it on to us to talk about, and it's not something that we're very good at.
I create the awkwardness and then I pass the baton.
Yeah, but I think it's important though, and we've had conversations about this because we need to get better at it, or at least accept that this is where you have to do this because this is some of the stuff. This is what that keeps the fire burning, right? We got to keep feeding that fire and getting us motivated to move on. And I agree 1,000,000%. It is almost mind-boggling just to see where we've come, at least from, and again, I want to be very clear here. This isn't saying, oh my God, look what we've done. Just from our own business plan. We talk about these things and we come and we create this and we put a plan in place, right? And we talk about what we want to accomplish and where we're going to go, no matter how small it is or how big it is. The importance is that we persevered, that we got through it, and we actually we accomplished a lot of the things that we wanted to accomplish in 2003. And some of those things that we did accomplish were goals that we set forth for 2024, 2025, because we've said this from the very beginning, and we had a lot of people that, and rightfully so, because one of my biggest pet peeves in this industry is that when a lot of people come out with fire or come out with these ideas and want to do this and want to do that and want to create change and want to help, move the needle, and they start off with a bang and everything just kind of like fizzles away. Not because I think people lose interest in, or because it's so difficult sometimes to move this mountain. And we set forward these goals and said, hey, we're here for the long run. This isn't a game. We are committed to this industry because we are the industry. We are a part of it. This is my livelihood. And we are, this is life. There is nothing else for us. As far as at least my family, and I know we've talked about this, is where it's in the business, the pool business, and the more we can do to better it, the better for everybody. So, anyways, the goals that we've set forth, the 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year plan, we actually accomplished a lot of this stuff in 1 year, and we're ahead of schedule. So, in Edgar fashion, we've created some pretty, big, hairy, audacious goals for the new year, or for 2024, and it's pretty. I don't know, and it's hard to say this, but to me, I'm pretty impressed with the acceptance that we've had from the industry, right? And people, it's just been pretty marvelous. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep mumbling, and because I suck at doing this, but I think we've made some progress, and I'm looking forward to 2024. I'll just put it at that.
Yeah, and it's funny, John, because you said that to me once, and it's really stayed in my mind because it's true, and I hadn't even realized it, right? And I think the challenge is a lot of times, like you said, you get people that kind of come in, and then we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then it just kind of fades away, right? And it kind of goes away, and we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic, right? It's not something that's easy to do. It's something that, in order for us to be able to kind of achieve certain things, it takes time, right? And for us, we look at it, and a lot of people tell us, oh my God, in 3 years, you've accomplished a lot. But for us, it feels like like we're not doing enough. We're not moving at a fast enough pace, right? And I kind of get irritated even with myself when we put things and we're going to have these things ready and then they're not, right? And I have to be realistic of, I'm putting a lot of pressure on the team. I'm pushing them very hard to be able to kind of get these things done. And a lot of these things, take time. So we got to take our foot a little bit off the pedal to make sure that everything, falls and is done the way that we like to do it, right? That it's done well. What I'm really excited about is I'm really excited about 2024 because as we sat down, as we put our plan together, and let's, taking that back a little bit, when we started doing the podcast, really it was just to fill the need of what we were being asked. A lot of the pool pros were like, hey, can you kind of create the content? And I think we grew up along that journey, right? And we kind of figured out who we wanted to be. And a lot of that has really been the pool pros telling us what they need. And that's all we've done. All we've done is we've listened to the pool pros out there. What is it that they need? What is it that we want? And us going in and, well, great. Well, let's do it. Let's kind of do that. Right. And so going into 2024, what's happening is everything is starting to come into that round, right? The way that I visualize things is you always start this circle and you have to close the circle, right? And so that's the path. So when we started talking about the boot camps, right? First it was, we had the goal of what we wanted that circle to be closed. And so we wanted to do the business classes. So we started to do that. We wanted to start doing the industry classes, which was the water chemistry and the partnerships with all of our amazing partners. And then we wanted to do the hands-on, right? And so far we've done all those things in separate boot camps and separate events and stuff like that. But March 1st is really going to be the first time that we bring it all in full circle, right? Like that day, March 1st is going to close that strategic goal that we had of creating those boot camps is going to finalize that circle, because we will have the business classes, we will have the industry classes, and we will have the hands-on classes for the pool pros. So it's not just an issue of, the hands-on, and you can kind of get those from the manufacturers. Yeah, you can absolutely do that, right? And you can go out and you can get the industry classes, and you can go out and you can get those business classes. But how do we bring it all together for the pool pros so that if they're coming to the event, they can choose what it is that they need, and it's all at that one event. So to me, that's the exciting part of 2024, is that we're going to start to see a lot of those circles close. And we have a lot of other things in the pipeline, right? We have a lot of those other circles that are still going, but we're going to start to see some of those events kind of come together and close and be able to show everybody what we've been working on for the last 3 years, trying to bring it to a close.
Yeah, to take it a little bit, I think what I'm so excited about is you hit on it when you talked about, the roadblocks and the obstacles that we had in the trials and tribulations of our journey. And a lot of that stuff isn't visual to a lot of our listeners and the people that know us, simply because, these are the struggles that anybody in the industry, that tries to do these types of things or to try to initiate change kind of goes through, that pushback. I'm excited that I think we've finally gotten to the point, or close to it, where 2023 was like, okay, this is never going to work. Okay, I'm listening, but I don't think it's gonna, and yeah, okay, pat you on the head type mentality. You guys go ahead and try to do it, and you're never going to be able to change this. And us taking that as like, okay, watch us, right? We're going to make it. Now you've motivated us. We're full steam ahead. We're going to do this, and nothing's going to stop us from doing it. And then meeting that resistance and that pushback, and then us, and when I mean us, I don't mean us three. I mean the industry, right? And every pool pro and every pool girl out there that believe in this common goal and this dream, saying that this is what we need to drive our industry forward, right? That's when I say us, I want to clarify that. Going, no, we have a voice, and this is what we need, and this is what we demand from our manufacturers and our partners and our distributors, right? And our builders and anybody who's out there in the industry. Where this year, it's finding like, okay, right, I see it, and it's like either jump on the train or get left behind, because this is where we're going and this is what we need as an industry. It's a shift. It's a complete shift in mentality. And when you face less resistance, right, we make more progress. And I think in 2024, with all these amazing partners that we have, and we went through them, right? And when we talk about manufacturers, especially like Hayward, right, that really stepped up to the plate and came up and said, hey, look, we believe in this too, and we want to be a part of this, and we want to put our stake in the ground and say, hey, this is about the industry, not just about Hayward, right? And you have to sell or do this or whatever Hayward, but hey, this is the way. And all our partners that we have, we can go through them with Raypak again, and now with the 202, right, and Aquastar, and we're talking about, Ken and Sarah and the team at Ultimate Pool Tools and Blu-ray, right, and we're, all Hasa, who's been there from the very beginning. All these, they're finally they see it, and they've been a part of it. And I'm just saying that this year, you're going to see a lot more things. All the pieces fall into place. Just like you said, everything full circle, which I think the progress that we made in the last 3 years is going to pale in comparison to the 2024 and 2025, because we are moving forward with so much more momentum and such less resistance, because so many people are realizing and understanding that this is what the industry is demanding. And whether it's from us or from another podcast or from another group that is focusing on this, bless your hearts. This is exactly what we need as an industry together. This isn't just Pool Nation, right? This is, like I said, when I say a movement, this is from everybody who wants to, who sees this vision and understands that this is the way we move forward and excel. So that's what I'm really stoked about in 2024. It's going to be a wild ride for sure.
I think it's exciting too, because we've seen a lot of people like start speaking up and, joining forces. And there's a lot of people who were previously out there with the same vision and the same, goals and mission and all of that stuff, but we were kind of silent, myself included. It wasn't until we all met, and it was like, I always wanted that, but I was siloed in my market, in my area, in my business. And we've always wanted to be more professional and try to uplift the image of the pool professional and in the consumer's mind and all of that. And I've always been an advocate for getting education and training, but that was it. It was just me living in that bubble, talking to myself and trying to do that with the pool boys. And over the last 3 years, I've gotten to meet like a tremendous amount of people that have the same idea and vision and wants. And we've made friends with a lot of these people. So it's been really cool over the last few years to see how contagious this has become, and then see how many people are actually coming out of their bubble, and we're joining together, and we're meeting at events, and we're meeting at shows, and everyone's pitching in and helping, and we're doing this together. And to me, that's been one of the most awesome pieces of it. And
then to tack onto that point, Zach, I think too, what's changed is the acceptance of, or it's okay to not know and not have the answers, and to reach out for help, right? And to look for that education. Where before it was more of like, oh, you suck as a pool guy, or you don't know that or understand that, or why don't you know how to do that, or that's the wrong, you get, where it's okay for people, that safe space that I've been preaching about forever, where people like, you know what, I'm all right. I'm amongst friends here. And it's okay to say that I need help, right? And it's okay to seek out that information and that education, and to better myself, right? And it's like a badge, they can wear to say, hey, look, yeah, I've accepted that I can do things better, or I might not have been contributing the best that I could have, or I've stifled my progress because of my pride, or whatever it may be, or my fear of being judged from my peers, or from my rep or the manufacturers, because I don't know this. So I'm just going to kind of hide in the shadows and kind of pretend and keep doing things half-ass or wrong or whatever it may be, because I let my pride get in my way, where now it's like, yes, give me more education. And they speak freely, saying, you know, just the testimonials that we get from people, it like warms my heart when I say this, and I mean it, when they say, because I went to the boot camp, right? And I hear this, and because I got myself, forget the boot, just because I got myself educated, because I did this and I learned, and it so happened to be over at the Aquastar one, and where they learned about the pump and the ozone and stuff, when they turn around and they go, hey, now I feel so much more comfortable. Now I'm offering these services. Now I'm able to do this, and now I'm growing my business. And now this is something that I didn't see myself doing for many years, or never doing, because I was so intimidated about, you know, working with this type of stuff, or I didn't know where I can go to get this information. Now I have that place, and I have that resource, where now I've changed my business model, and now I'm doing this, right? And now I'm offering these services and doing it with a smile, and I feel comfortable because I have somewhere I can lean on when I need help, whether it's the app, whether it's reaching out with the new contacts that you've made, and whatever it may be. You know, it's that right there is that is amazing, right? And that is exactly what we were trying to accomplish. And when we hear those stories, it really lights a fire up my ass, and it makes me go like, bring it on. Where before I was like, oh my God, Edgar, come on, we're talking about, oh, Jesus, one. Now it's like more. Let's do more. I was always right there with them, and so back to, and it's like, I don't know, it's just a fire inside me right now, and I'm so stoked about 2024, and I'm so proud of everybody in the industry. All the podcasts, all the teaching and education, right? And all the positive reinforcement that we're getting. I can see the hatred has minimized, you know.
It's dissipated. Yeah.
It has, right? And that social media, just that
negativity. Yeah.
Garbage that everybody had to go through and deal with. And, you know, from whoever it was, and everybody knows, nobody needs to call out names or say anything, but you know, we've heard these things from multiple people, you know, where people were just, I don't know what it was, but it's slowly kind of dissipated, right? And people are respecting each other and more accepting of each other. And like, maybe we're just growing up, you know, whatever it may be. But that also too is like really promising, right? Because it creates an environment where people feel safe to come out and do what they need to do so they can better themselves, and that's pretty badass.
That was always something that I could never wrap my head around when we were first getting started. It was like, the more technical we got and the more questions I had, but people would treat me like you said, like, you should know this. And I'm thinking, like, how am I supposed to know this if I don't learn it somewhere? Like, I'm not just dropped in with this knowledge.
Exactly. You're born with it, right?
Yeah. And it was just so wild to me, because you've got to learn somewhere, some point, and you've got to go through that experience, and you've got to get that training. And I was always in a lot of the workshops. I was always quiet and reserved in the beginning, because I didn't want to ask a dumb question, you know, that feeling that everyone gets. And over time, I just got to the point where I was like, I need to know. And you know what, if everyone else probably has a very similar question, so I'm just going to ask. And that's what I did. But it wasn't met without that, you know, condescending tone or that sarcastic remark or whatever. But
yeah, or all of a sudden you felt, you know, there's a hierarchy apparently in a room, right? And who's the badass and who's the boss man, you know, that knows it all. And, you know, and then all of a sudden now you went down a level because now people think that you're not as good at your job as, you know, and it's a something measuring contest, right? And it can't be that, you know, that stifles learning. And I really see progress in it. And if you can look in my eyes, I'm excited.
And to me, and it's been from, you know, some of the companies and some of the manufacturers that, you know, kind of have even kind of looked down at the industry, right? I looked at the one pollers, at the individual pool guys doing out their business and something like that. But the vision of it is they don't have the tools. They don't have a place to go and get that education whichever one it be, whether it's business, whether it's hands-on, whether it's whatever it is, there just hasn't been that platform. There hasn't been that space for them to be able to do it. But the reality is that, most of sales comes from aftermarket, right? Like you have pool builders that build with a pad, but it's what those products get replaced with. And so what we need to give them is, what we need to get at is obviously to change that mindset, right? And to give those people the tools, because they're the ones that are the majority in the industry. They are the ones that if they get educated, if they get the tools, if they succeed, they are going to in turn elevate the industry. And so, I think that's been for us the fun part, right? It's been the part where we get to connect with all these pool pros and try to get those tools. And like you were saying, John, I think a lot of companies were reluctant at the beginning because of what you said specifically, right? Like they probably have looked at our industry and said, oh, here's this Edgar, here's this Zach, here's this John. They're going to last 6 months and then they're going to go away, right? So why open the door? Why communicate? Why partner with them when they're just going to disappear because history is going to repeat itself, right? And I think as time has gone on, we've done tools, we're still around. I think some of those doors are starting to open and be able to change. What excites me the most about all these events and all the things that we put together is the fact that you will have people, pool pros, which people have always thought that they won't. People have always thought, oh, well, pool pros won't fly into our event, or they won't come from Florida, or, oh, they won't come from Texas, or, oh, they won't come from Canada, or, oh, they won't come from Ohio to an event. But they will, right? Like those business owners that want to excel, they will come together. What excites me the most about it is that we have these events, and yes, they get education, and yes, they get some of the tools that they need to run their business. What excites me the most is when I see two pool pros from opposite sides of the coast. And this happened in Dallas. And we had two female business owners, and I'm standing in between them as they're having a conversation, and they're talking about vacation rentals, right? And you have one from Florida, you have one from California, and the one from Florida was having a struggle with their customers and how to be able to get them to understand that there was certain things that they needed to do. And the one from California said, this is how we do it. This is how we deal with our customers. And in an instant, it completely changed the way that the person in Florida did business. They just went, that's what we need to do, right? And that to me is invaluable, right? Because we can go and we can sit down and we can talk about business. We can talk about numbers. We could talk about pH. We could talk about alkalinity. We could talk about temp sensors. But what are those nuggets that you're going to take away that's going to change your business? And one of the biggest things that comes out of all these events is all these networking connections that come out, that now you do have that phone line. Now you do have that lifeline that if I have a problem, I could pick up and I can reach out to whoever, Joe, Mary, Steve in the East Coast or the West Coast, to be able to be, hey, I'm having a challenge with this business. What do you do? Right? And be able to fundamentally change your business. And so that to me is really the part that excites me. That's the part where those people are able to leverage and change their businesses within an instant. And I love it.
Like admit that there's challenges. Like there are no doubt challenges and roadblocks and problems and situations when you're running a business. Like that's the reality of running a business. And being vulnerable, right? Feeling safe enough to be vulnerable about what challenges you're experiencing and have that conversation with someone else who maybe they've figured that problem out. And I guarantee that they're probably having a different problem that maybe you've figured out. And that's what I love. And I've always been kind of the transparent mindset, maybe sometimes too much, but it's because like if I'm putting the information out there, then the information I'm going to receive is going to be much more valuable than, if I'm walking around with some fake image or whatever that I'm trying to maintain of what really goes on. Like, because no doubt we go through our struggles too. And I have conversations with people about it, and I get that good information on, oh, wow, maybe if I tweak this, change that, implement this, it'll help. And I love that.
Oh, and it speaks to exactly what I'm talking about, where before it would be like, oh, I know it all. I'm doing it the right way. The way you're doing it is wrong. Where people now are open to it and saying, humble enough to open up and say, hey, I need some help. Let me bounce it off another fellow business owner, right? We're equals here. Not one's better than the other. And one has to, not like, just because I've been doing this for so long, or because I'm in industry, or I'm on a podcast, or I do this, or I do that, or I know this, or I know that. That doesn't mean that if I meet a fellow pool pro, or the people that I talk to, that I'm not capable of learning from them. If I go into that mentality with anybody I talk to, right, or anybody I meet, or think that I'm better because I know everything, or I think I know everything, or I've experienced everything, or blah 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 blah, shame on me. How in the hell am I ever going to learn, right? Where that mentality is such bullshit, right? And it's like, no, you need to humble yourself and be like, hey, I need help. Or, hey, it's okay to accept the fact that there are probably other people out there that do it better than you, right? And to seek that knowledge, is the smartest thing you can do, because as a village, you talked about it before, where people didn't feel like they had a voice, right? Or you felt, but now it's like, that there's so many more people out there that are like us, and we need to embrace that. And together as a whole, we are so much more powerful than one individual. And that was the power that I think that the manufacturers and the vendors, or the big service companies, or the builders, or whoever you want to look at it, had that over us, right? They had that this hypothetical, or this imaginary, overlord type power over that one polar. Because you're nobody, you're a peon, what do you do? Only buy 3 pumps a year, a pump a year, or you only spend X amount of money on us, so we're not going to give you the attention needed, because, you don't affect our bottom line. Very short-term minded, right? And not looking at, or now, and this is the other point I want to make, and what I think is one of the more exciting things is, as the manufacturers, they're changing their thoughts and their mind frame now, and how they approach it, right? Where instead of having that type of mentality where, like, okay, I hear a complaint, oh, whatever, so what? We're not going to change it. This is how it is, and you are going to accept it, because what else are you going to do, right? That's the type of mentality that I had, or I felt when I was growing up in this pool industry, where now it's more like the manufacturers are like, hey, look, shit, we need to do something, right? We need to change. We need to adapt.
We need to invest.
We need to invest, right? And, and that one voice isn't just one voice. It is the power of the family, of everybody, the whole service side of it, and it's like, if anything, it's like, we help become maybe a little bit of that megaphone, right? And we've had multiple examples. We had one of our peeps, right, that went through an issue with a vendor or manufacturer, right? That something was really, that they did her dirty, and we were like, look, no, where maybe one person didn't have a voice, or didn't feel comfortable enough, and would have just sat there and taken it and felt terrible about it, right? But was disrespected. And when she reached out to us, we're like, no, that is wrong, right? We need to get in touch. We need to say something, do something, right? And then you give that one polar a voice of 10,000, right? Because, and the manufacturers are seeing that. And I know I'm rambling here, but again, they're seeing that, and they're going, shit, we need to take a second, reevaluate, and listen, and it doesn't mean that we're right all the time, but at least listen to it, right? And then we start seeing these changes happening little by little, and which they already are. And I think 2024 is going to be even more productive. So yeah, this is all around so exciting, dude.
I think a part of it too that we have to put credit is, like, we had a lot of work as service professionals, or a big part in all of that as well. And I think this is truly like an industry-wide transition that we're seeing across all areas of the industry. But I mean, in the same sense that it used to be very hostile, guarded, I know everything. I mean, think about how many times there was a class that was put out, but there was poor attendance because there wasn't all these people that were, seeking this information because they already knew it all. And think about, the abrasiveness that we all experienced from other service professionals. I mean, the manufacturers experience that same abrasiveness. So I think it's just more of that. We're starting to change as an industry as a whole, and everyone is starting to step in and do their part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love seeing that progress. I will tell you both this. We're just starting. It's a long trajectory, right? We still need to be ready to continue to keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? And it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about the pool pros. It's all about elevating our industry. And we talk about it all the time. It's really kind of equipping the next generation, right, of pool pros that's coming in. And a lot of those big companies always compare us to other industries, whether the HVAC or electrical or all that type of thing. The more time I spend looking at those industries, because I do spend time looking at what it is that they do different for their industries and stuff like that, the more I realize that we have a long way to go, right? Like, I've really been doing some research on their events and their trainings and all that kind of stuff, and their next level events that really allow those people to gain every knowledge possible. And so we're just headed in that direction, everybody. So just kind of, join us at the boot camps, and, we'll get there. Right. We got a lot of great stuff coming up for 2024. So
hug a fellow pool pro.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one, Zach. Now, next thing you know, somebody's gonna bring you a shirt that says hug a fellow pool pro.
I would wear
That
it.
reminds me of a service call that I had during vacation right now, and it was a good client. He's amazing. Really good people, but they came down and they went to use their it was Christmas Eve is when we went there to do the service call, and his wife went to use the spa, and it wouldn't heat, right? And he's like, "Oh my God, John, I'm so sorry. I know you're on vacation." He's like, "But I'm just letting you know, when you guys are done, when you come back, will you take a look into this?" My wife went to da 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 and was disappointed that the heater wasn't working. So when you come, will you check on it? And then I got back to him and I said, "Don't worry, we'll be out there tomorrow, or I'll be out there today." I can't remember what it was. And he's like, "No, oh my God, you're on vacation. It's Christmas Eve." And I said, "Don't worry, I'm coming out there. This is me, my sickness." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get to go out there." But I knew it was easy, because we had an issue with it before with the heater. I fixed it, and I know what happened. I'm like, "Well, okay, it's not working. I bet you the heater's off at the heater itself." But long story short, we drive down there, and we get there, and we go over to the heater, old LXI, and they have the heat on, and then of course, spa's not turned on, or you have to manually turn it on at the thing, and it goes and fires up, and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "You could have told me that on the phone." Like, I know that, but I wanted to get out of the house and get there, right? And actually do something. And I'm pretty sure I could have walked you over to the phone, but I wanted to get out there and do it. And he comes out, and he's all decked out in a Christmas spirited onesie, a grown man with like a Santa hat on, in a onesie. And he's like, "Thank you so much, John and Janie. You just made my Christmas. My wife is going to be super ecstatic that she gets to do this, because they come from whatever." And he's like, and I go to give him a fist pump, and he comes over here and he gives me a grown man gives me a hug in a onesie, and he hugs me, and I give him a hug.
Do we have pictures of that?
And he's hugging me, and it's like a 35-second hug, just like, thank you. And Janie's sitting there going, like, she's all cracking up or whatever. But he's such a cool cat, right? You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, it just reminded me of that. But yeah, hugs.
Yeah, and I do have Justin out here saying Zach's out here trying to get free hugs. So that's what So here, let's do this for everybody that's listening to the podcast. At the next event that we do, free hugs from Zach. Zach's just gonna, instead of shaking hands, he's gonna give everybody hugs. So you know what? Don't even ask. Just walk up to him and just hug him.
I'm an introvert. It might get very weird.
So, anyways, we are super excited about next year. So let's talk really quick. I know we've already been talking for an hour, but let's talk really quick about 2024 before we call it the last podcast of the year. 2024. So we have the boot camps that we're going to be doing. We have the one in Heritage. We have the one at Western. We have our dream of the 201 out in Oxnard at Ray-Pac. And when we start talking about creating those circles, everyone, and we talk about closing that circle, those 201 boot camps are part of that overall boot camp, right? Because we know that as pool pros get educated, more and more experience is going to be required. So that boot camp at Ray-Pac is really going to be that. It's going to be that first boot camp that we kind of go a lot more in depth. We're going to do the Women's Summit August 29th and 30th. And this year we're thinking of doing a 2-day boot camp. A lot of the feedback that we took back from last year was that a lot of the women were like, man, we'd like for this to be a 2-day boot camp. Like we really would love to be able to have more. And so that's exciting. So we're kind of taking a look at that. We've kind of contacted some people to do some education. We are going to bring in we are going to have industry leaders come in and teach and all that kind of stuff, but we're also going to be bringing in some trainers, right? From Fortune 500 companies that do some training to really allow us to elevate that there. And then we do have one more summit that we are building. And I don't think we're ready to talk about that one yet, right, John? No, John said, "No, you're not allowed to talk about it, Edgar, yet, because you need to work on some of the details before we do that." But during the Women's Summit, we got a couple of interesting calls with regards to people wanting more education, and so we kind of listened. And when we sat down, and at the end of this year, we sat down putting the strategies together. That's kind of one that came into our pipeline, right? No pun intended for Aquastar. I'm going to keep throwing out these for Aquastar, right? Because it's, so we have that one in the pipeline that we're going to be announcing soon. It's going to be, am I allowed to give any details, John, or no?
I don't think we should.
Details. Okay. No. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so stay tuned. We will talk about that. Zach and John don't want to spill any part of the tea just yet, but I totally get that. We're going to be doing the 3-day boot camp. We're going to do the Pool Nation Awards again next year. And we already have how we're going to take it to the next level. So we've kind of talked about that. So there'll be some new things at the Pool Nation Awards out in Dallas. And then we're working on one more thing that we're trying to do, but we haven't been able to finalize it. So we'll share that, but it'll be a different experience of everything that we are doing. In the meantime, obviously 2024, we have a new version of the app coming in. We have some of the software that's going to be attached to the classes. So we are going to be teaching the goal classes, which, by the way, John and Zach, I'll have to send you the screenshots. Got the designs of the goal software for people to be able to create the goals, and they can even assign tasks to other people, put due dates, do all that kind of fun stuff. So I got those screens today, so I was giddy. And then we're implementing the new parts of the Poolman University app for the companies. So that should be out in the first quarter. So, we have a lot of things going on for 2024, but we're giddy. I'm giddy, John. Now I want it to be Tuesday. Now I'm ready to go into full mode.
And Edgar says that he hasn't been doing anything. Like physically, he may not be doing anything, but his brain is just like cranking out. Like the Idea Factory is just on full throttle.
Oh, and let me tell you. Well, you guys saw some of the samples of some of the stuff that I sent you guys that that we should do. You know what? You guys should go check out our room at the boot camp at the Western, in our training room where we teach the classes. Oh, wait till you see that setup. That's going to be legit. That's going to be I'm going to be legit. I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah. Look,
So-
you rambled off a list of things and events, right? That 2 years ago, just one of those things would have been like the accomplishment of the year, right? Like thinking just to be able to get one boot camp done or to be able to get the women's summit, right? And that's something to be very proud of that you're able to do and accomplish. And now these things are not just, and again, they're not just one-time things, right? These are established now, right? This is forever happening, right? We are doing the women's networking event. We're making it happen. The Pool Nation Awards, right? This is not a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year, a 4 year. We're going to soon have 10 years into Pool Nation Awards, right? Our 10th annual Pool Nation Awards. We're talking these boot camps from 1 to 2 to 3 a year to 5, 6, however many. These things are set in stone and they are happening. And if you can read between those lines, there are going to be so many more things that are going to be added in 2024 and 2025 that we're going to help facilitate, and introduce into the industry so that, we can further accomplish, the goals that we have set. And I am like, at first you kind of look at it and go, we have our own company, we got to run, we got all this stuff that we got to do on one side. And then on top of that, we have the Pool Nation gig and everything we need to do with Pool Nation in order to make it succeed and not let off on it, because now's not the time to kind of like, take focus off on it. And it's more of like putting more focus into it and creating that happy medium. And this year I'm even more excited to put even more effort into it. So that we can see all these things come to fruition. It's going to be pretty cool. Pretty stoked.
Absolutely. Mr. Joel Thompson, what's going on out there? He's going, just logged in, boys. What are we talking about? So you missed a good one, Joel. You're going to have to listen to it on Tuesday. We'll put out the podcast on Tuesday because Monday is New Year's, right? Is that on Monday, Zach? I think so, right?
It's Monday, but we're working.
You're working on Monday, but you are. Is the whole team working on Monday?
We're working on Monday because we took this whole week off.
Yeah.
So we can't miss Monday's route.
Yeah. So, Joel, we talked about 2023, what we have in store for 2024. Sorry, John. What was that?
I'm going to say we're going to have to end this podcast pretty soon.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Mama,
you're not excited. You're not excited to be on working and
no,
kind of.
What I'm excited about right now is Mama just walked in and handed me.
Please tell me bacon.
Like
Please
5 perfectly cooked bacon. I mean, these bacons, there's some.
Oh, man.
I mean, these are like.
Man.
Oh, I mean, these are unbelievable. It's some package of bacon, and it's an art. We've talked about this. Some are much better than the others, right? And some of them are like, God, these are just unbelievable. They just melt in your mouth, and some of them are just like chewy crap. This is the bomb right here. These are the melt in your mouth ones, and I'm looking forward to breakfast. So we're gonna have to cut this really soon. Or else
I've been having a craving for bacon for like 3 days,
dude.
And you have to bring that up now. Oh, I can hear it all the way over here. Dang, I'm gonna have breakfast for lunch.
Another
That's 30
minutes on bacon. Here we go.
I'm going to have breakfast for lunch. That's what I'm doing. So,
wow.
As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me send a message. Let me send a message to the wife right now that's what we're doing. So, anyways, gentlemen, let's do this. Let's take our word from our sponsors when we come back. No pressure, John. No pressure, Zach. But it is the final words for 2024. So we'll be right back.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast, where Zach and John are still missing. They're still kind of out in La La Land. You kind of give them a little bit of a break because it's the last year of the last podcast of the year, and they're just out in La La Land. John, I know what he was doing. He was eating bacon, which, by the way, I ran downstairs and I told Leanne, get ready because as soon as I'm done, we're going to have breakfast for lunch. So make sure that whoever which the kids is going to be ready because we're out. I want some bacon. So I do have to say we have a chat, and so Corey kind of came on and was saying that what was it, Zach, that the power vac had a new power vac and everybody was kind of asking about it, and now he's disappeared, and I said he's listening to the podcast. So Corey, if you are still listening to the podcast, just to let you know, everybody's waiting for a response in the chat because everybody's going nuts out there. So
yeah, that's exciting. Actually, I saw that too. That popped up about power vac. I mean, we've had a power vac for many, many years, and that was our first unit. Now we have a Riptide, right? Mm-hmm. We have Riptides, but we also still have the power vac. But you know, they kind of went MIA, right? And
they really did.
Unit, yeah. And then that was it. And it was always kind of like, I'm not going to get into it, but they've had the same one for God knows how long now. And apparently they came out with a new model or a new version of it. And as soon as we're done and I finish I might even do it before I finish my breakfast sandwich. I'm going to go search it up and find out what they have, and I might get myself one ordered up because, like I said, I'm a true geek when it comes down to that kind of stuff. And
if you find it, share it, because
I will. I'll find it 100%. I'll find it. I'll figure if it's there. I'll find it if it exists. And I know Corey wouldn't steer us wrong, and I think everybody else feels the same way too, because we're all looking for.
Well, this chat, this thing is blowing up. Everybody wanting to know about it. That's everybody's response, and everybody's like, "Corey, really? You kind of posted that, and then you're not answering and posting gifs."
I have a guy here, Nick, and he has a power vac, and he's had it his whole time, and it's his baby. And every time he leaves or goes on vacation, he takes care of it. He coils it up. He protects it. He hides it. He hides it. So
the power vac has its advantages. One, it's really light. Janie really loves it, right? Because it's so much lighter to maneuver, right?
A good charge, like it lasts.
And then the casters on there too. It makes it it's easy to put it in the spa or on the steps, right? It moves around really nice. It has its drawbacks where it kind of like it's hard to go in a straight line with it. It kind of wants to like move away, but there's but it for sure you get some definite core workout, but it has its advantages that the other, the Riptide and the Hammerhead just don't offer you, but vice versa as well too. So it's always good having multiple tools to be able to do the job. And there was times where I was running with a power vac and a Riptide on the back of my truck because I used it accordingly, just like anything else. It's just not a one size fits all approach at every single pool. In some pools, one benefits more than the other. And if you're in a position to where you can have more tools, so you can do the job better, then absolutely. And
let's buy them out. Let's
do it.
Let's put a message out to everybody, and we'll have all the pool pros join, and we'll all buy them out. So
buy every single new power vac they got.
I just want to buy one.
Well,
no, I'm saying let's buy the company, and then we can let's buy the company, and it'll be owned by all the pool pros, and then we can make and sell all the power vacs.
Whoa! That's 2028, bro. Yeah. We're on 2024 right now.
So anyways, I love it. So I'm watching the chat over here. And so Joel was talking to Matt out here. And this is exactly what I love about, our industry and kind of what we do. They're kind of talking, and Matt's telling his story from Ohio, and he was in Southern California and stuff like that. So shout out to both of you, Matt and Joel. A big shout out to both of you. So Zach, I think I gave you enough time. Final thoughts. The final thoughts for 2023 before we go into 2024.
I think we covered a lot of the emotional therapy stuff today, which was really good. And I'll just say that I'm going to take a little bit of a personal twist on this. 2023 was a really kind of an interesting year for us with the Pool Boys, and we had a lot of things go on. We moved into our new building. That was a 5-month project. We had some personnel changes, some key personnel, and that was a big, process of learning curve and getting in tune with things. But a lot of good changes. And one thing is that this year was we kind of stopped scaling this year, and we were really focused on foundational things. We really started looking at how can we recruit, how can we hire better. We really started putting things in place to do that better and faster, and just really working on the foundation of the company. And this year, 2024, I'm super pumped because this is a year that we're like, okay, this is going to be a real growth year for us. And we just opened up to a new market. In the last 2 weeks, we started our marketing campaigns out there. And so I think it's going to be a fun, busy year for everyone here on the team. And I think everyone's just as excited as I am to see, you talk about the growth, and it's little by little and it's there, but now it's like we're penetrating a whole new market. And I think that's something super excited. So I'm fired up. I'm ready for the new year to kick off so that we can put 2023 in the rear view and punch the pedal to the metal, like you were saying. And then other than that, I just want to thank everyone that listens and engages and contributes, and because this is what it's all about. It's about that nation of pool pros, and we talk about it all the time, and it's just so much fun to be a part of an industry community where I'm surrounded by people with like minds, like interests, same struggles, same wins, and we get to share all of that together. And to me, that's what gives me the fuel to keep doing what I'm doing every single day. Because if we were just siloed here, we're going on 12, 13 years now. And if we were just in our silo, I don't think it would be as fun of a journey. So,
Mr. Flawless. I know I can see the look, and he's going to go deep.
Well,
which is all good. Like we're looking forward to it. So
I was going to try to keep it short, but I don't think I possibly can.
Yeah, and this is the last one of the year. Heck no.
But I'm going to keep it short, but I'm going to keep it potent. How about that? Right? It's going to be bam. And I think, it's the end of the year, and I kind of reflected and spoke about a lot of things during the podcast. And that's usually my final thought thing. And I kind of just have like a thing and I talk, but this time I have a specific thing that I want to really talk about. And I know I should talk about it because it's so perfect that from what you just said, your final thought, Zach, we never even talked about it. It complements it perfectly. And it's exactly what you said about change. When we reflect on our previous year, on our past year, right? We look at all our wins, our losses, our the things we learned from, our trials, our tribulations, just all the stuff that we went through, and then we look forward to the new year, and we always usually come up with the resolutions and what we have in plan, and we come up with these goals and stuff like that, and how we're going to better ourselves. I want to tack on a little bit to what you said about change and all the things you went through. And what's funny is not funny, but what's so amazing about it really is how you talked about some of those things, Zach. And I'm going to use you as an example simply because you said what you said. You talk about the personnel change, the big scary things that happened to you, right? And some of those things weren't things you were actively looking for, right? That just ended up happening, right? But it ended up being, and at that time, when you were going through it, and we can apply this to anybody with any drastic change that we do, whether in a personal life or whether in our business, for business sake, when drastic change happens, it usually happens not because we actively try for it, right? But it's just because it hits us in the face, or we blindly ignore something, the warnings, or the writing on the wall, and we get hit with it when we can no longer ignore it, right? And usually at the time when we're going through it, it's like, oh my God, I'm in this, what am I going to do? And you're worried or whatever. But now you talk about it as if it was a good thing, right? That you went through it. And 99% of the time, it really is. If you can get through it, and you can overcome that change, right? And you change, right? You grow. And it's funny to hear, how you approach it now versus how you may have approached it 8 months ago or 9 months ago when it smacked you in the face and you're like, holy shit, is this the end? Not saying it was that dramatic, right? But in our minds, especially somebody like you, you overanalyze things almost to a fault, where it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But, what's important is that you don't give up and that you fight through it, right? And then you embrace it, and then you come out so much stronger and better at the end because of it. So my thing is saying, hey, for the new year, guys, let's not wait for change to smack us in the face, right? Let's read the writing on the wall. let's not ignore, like what I've talked about before with the manufacturers and how things are kind of changing when they go, and wait until it's like, now I have to do something because now we have this huge voice. It's not just one polar. It's a community. It's a family. It's a nation of pool pros out there coming from every different corner. Where when we see those things, let's be proactive, right? And let's do that. Let's embrace that change, and let's change before we are forced to change. And if you do that, I promise you, you will come out feeling so much. I don't even know. You feel empowered, right? And you feel you get this feeling inside. You eliminate that dread that you have to go through, or that punishment you put yourself through because you're backed in a corner. So if anything, 2024, folks, embrace the change, right? Proactively seek it, and better yourselves one way or the other. I want to thank everybody, Edgar, Zach, especially. I consider you guys some of my two best friends. You guys are amazing, and and Edgar, you say this all the time. If we close the door to Pool Nation, and just shut the light switch, and if we did, right, we could and just say whatever, and we'd be successful in our lives doing what we're doing. One thing that wouldn't change is our friendship, right? And that if we gained anything, having you two as friends, or being able to call us friends, has been a very positive thing in our lives. And I'm very thankful for that. And on top of that, I'm extremely thankful for our pool pros and all the people that we've met over the years. And I can sit and I can name them, but I won't, but you all know who you are. But all the people that believed in us, that show up to our events, that are here on the lives, right? That support us on Instagram and in real life, and that talk well about what we're trying to do and help move our message forward, because without you, we couldn't do it. I am so thankful for that, not because it's helping us accomplish, that it's kind of, you're helping us better the industry and helping us accomplish these goals, but you have changed me as an individual, because I have always been a very guarded person where I don't open myself up to have conversations or befriend a lot of people, simply because I've always been very skeptical in my life. And seeing you people and you guys, and who you are out there, you have changed my perception of life. And that might sound a little crazy or far, but you've changed me as an individual, where you make me believe that people are inherently good, right? Instead of always being assholes and always in for themselves and selfish for their own needs. Because growing up in my life, unfortunately, the majority of people that I've had to deal with in my life, and that I've had to do business with in the past, have always been that way, where at the end of the day, what's the end game, right? And I need to protect and guard what's mine, and I've been burned and hurt so many times in the past, to where I just don't allow myself, I don't open up myself to that, where now I can see, and especially in the industry, I felt that way starting, and you've changed me to where, it just gives me just great hope, and has made it a lot funner for me. So I'm just very thankful for each and every one of you guys and gals out there. You know who you are. Much appreciated. I look forward to 2024. And yeah, that's it. Don't want to. I got really fucking deep.
You got really deep.
Yeah.
Matt over here is going, is somebody cutting onions in here?
Yeah. So, and I'm not an emotional person.
And I wanted to joke a couple of times.
Damn, I'm getting old,
man. Me laughing, but I'm like, just shut up. Just don't say anything. Keep your mouth closed.
So I've made some friends, I've made some friends, and I've friends, including some of the guys that I got to spend time with yesterday, golfing with, that I would have never done that before. Just something that we never do. It's out of the norm for me as an individual.
Out of the comfort zone.
It is. It's not, because look, I got, I mean, because I've just been, in the past, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not stupid, but I've been enlightened, and it's made life a lot better. So I appreciate everybody.
I do have to tell you this, and I forgot about this story, John, but I had to take Jaden to the doctor yesterday, and so we go in, and he's in there, he talks to the doctor, does all that kind of stuff, and then he was saying, oh, I was working, and so then the doctor's like, oh, where do you work? And he's like, oh, I do pools. And oh, where do you do pools at? And he's like, oh, well, I work for a company called Blue Moon, and over in Highland Park. And the doctors are like, oh, I live in Highland Park. And then he turns to us and he starts going, and I have a problem with my pool. And all of a sudden Jaden just turns around and like looks at me like, are you kidding me? Is this where this conversation's gonna go? So the doctor has a pool where in Highland Park, which is very unusual for Texas, but they built the house, and then they put the equipment in a basement, which is very uncommon for Texas because the ground moves a lot and that kind of stuff. So anyways, he starts talking about the fact that he has ozone, and he's one of those that likes to tinker with a lot of things. So he says that so they had a leak, got down to the basement, damaged a whole bunch of tiles, did all that kind of stuff. They fixed it. Like 4 weeks later, there was a leak in a different place. So it got flooded again and had all these kind of things. I have to tell you, I had such a proud moment as a father because Jaden starts doing the pool talk, and he was so well spoken that I just kind of sat back, and the guy was talking about the ozone and stuff like that. And Jaden, without missing a beat, starts talking about, oh, you probably have an older version of the ozone, but Aquastar has a brand new ozone system that comes out that's all inclusive, and you just do this. And I forgot to message Todd. I'm like, we go to the doctor and we end up doing a sales pitch for Aquastar for ozone systems.
That's beautiful.
So anyways, little side note, final thoughts for me. I don't think I can add anything else that you guys haven't added already to the conversation. I do want to take some time to, just like John, thank everybody. There's a lot of you out there, and I don't want to leave anybody out there, but you guys know who you are. You've been with us since the beginning. All the pool pros, you've believed in us. You fly everywhere that we go. If we go to Vegas, you guys go to Vegas. If we go to wherever we go, to Long Beach, it doesn't matter. You guys are there. You guys support us. You guys are part of Pool Nation, right? You guys are part of what we're building. And you guys are just as big part of this as me, Zach, and John, right? Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to bring this nation of pool pros, which we now call a family of pool pros, together. So we want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of our sponsors that have believed in us. We're working with a couple new sponsors for 2024. So we'll kind of talk and announce those as we get forward into 2024. We got to thank everybody. I mean, I'll even thank the people that haven't believed in us, the people that, have hated, continue to hate. It just fuels the fire, right? But at the end of the day, remember that this is not about Edgar, Zach, and John. This is about, our industry. It's about elevating the industry. It's been what our purpose is. And that will continue to be our focus with our three fundamental principles, right? One is having the pool pros be financially successful, because if they do, they'll elevate themselves, their families. Two is to create that safe space, right? And then three is that everything that we do has to elevate our industry, and we'll continue to drive off of those, three foundational principles. But at the end of the day, we can't do it without the support of everybody out there. So everybody out there, thank you. Thank you so much. It was a great year. Now I'm looking forward to 2024, which we will talk about next week. We'll be able to share some. John, we'll be able to share some of the stuff on the Instagram Live on Wednesday, because it's already going to be the new year.
Looking forward to it.
So anyway, everybody, we've been talking for 1 hour and 43 minutes. Holy cow. Let me do some final shout outs here. Steve Barr and Leadership in Action. Happy New Year. Janie, thank you so much for jumping on there. Steve Barnes, love it. And then our boy, Steve Barnes, love it.
Nice.
Really appreciate it. I was posting the last one on there, but of course they're making fun of us as usual. So hey, that needs to come in too. So keep it coming, people. So anyways, hope everybody has a great New Year's. Zach John, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for everything that you do. We'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Have a great one. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry, a pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.